strange discoveries on Mount Ararat of Armenia, today Turkey, that are unknown, and how they were found there. To the south of the Caucasus and the Black Sea, near the eastern border of Turkey, lies the small Republic of Armenia. Until the 1930s, few had dared to explore its lands due to the uneven terrain, lack of roads, and primitive instinct of the local tribes, which were somewhat highly uncivilized. However, the English explorer Carver Wells, who lived between 1887 and 1957, this English explorer Carver Wells managed to penetrate this mysterious country to study its ancient monuments and monasteries, and to climb to the top of Mount Ararat, where the famous monastery was located, which is considered the cradle of the world and the eternal home of all Armenians. Indeed, local traditions insist that this country was the cradle of all mankind. They even show the location of the earthly paradise, but also the lake in which the waters were withdrawn after the biblical flood. The Armenians claim to be the descendants of Japheth, the third son of Noah, who according to the Bible ran aground and with his ark right on top of the Mount Ararat. The small town of Exyazim was then built there, to which the title of the oldest city in the world belongs. So after Noah's flood, this is where kindly support my Patreon account, since YouTube has again demonetized my YouTube channel. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. Near the highest peak of the mountain, the monastery of St. James was built, St. Jacob of Akori Monastery, where according to tradition, a piece of wood from the Ark of Noah was kept at this monastery. Besides this tradition was also known to the Byzantines. Eusebius of Caesarea reported that, quote, on Mount Ararat sat the Ark, the remains of which remains in Armenia, end quote. But it's not only the remnant of the Ark, one of the first relics of the Christian faith, that is said to exist in this country. On the plateau of Ararat lies another city called Mizhet, Mitzhet, Mizet. There, in biblical times, it was a real natural paradise, but today its place has been taken by steep cliffs, swamps, and few plantations. In the middle of the city was the ancient church of the 12 apostles, in which a robe was kept. The Armenian tradition insists that this robe was the original garment worn by Jesus during his martyrdom ascent to Golgotha. The existence of the Pentecostal robe was explained as follows. The Roman soldiers, as the Gospel said, gambled on who would win the robe of Jesus. A Jew then bought it from the one who won it and brought it to this place, which was the Armenian city of Mizet, Mitzhet. When the Jew's sister once died, he covered her body with this robe. After many years, they opened the tomb of Sidon, as the woman was called, and discovered the robe intact. Since then, according to Armenian tradition, the sacred cloth was kept in the Christian church, which was built for this very purpose. But there is another precious relic of Christianity. Bishop Mesrop of the city of Exyazim kept with great reverence in an ancient early Christian crypt the spear with which Christ was ascended on the cross of martyrdom. These sacred relics, for which Papal Rome once did everything to obtain them and transport them back to Rome in Italy, have been selflessly sacrificed for centuries by the Armenians, who were determined to sacrifice their lives in order to keep them in their country. Inside the Erivan monastery, the Englishman Carver Wells discovered a magnificent large painting which belonged to the famous Flemish Renaissance painter Rubens. How this magnificent painting was found on the isolated plateau of the Caucasus remains a real mystery. But the daring explorer discovered something even more shocking. In a secluded corner of Armenia, there were 3 villages whose inhabitants were completely different from the rest of their compatriots in both racial type and language and even clothing. In appearance, they resembled Europeans, but their armor was the same as that of the medieval crusaders, and they spoke a language idiom that remarkably resembled English. There was no doubt that these people were descendants of the crusaders of the time of the King of England, Richard the Lionheart. The mystery of the relics of Christianity on Mount Ararat remains. So how did these Europeans get to the Caucasus about 1,000 years ago? Why did they settle in those fraudulent places? How did they manage to survive to this day? And the historical problem plagued researchers and continues to plague researchers. This news was published in the Greek newspaper National or Ethnos on December 1st, 1933. The Englishman, from the time of Richard the Lionheart of the Crusades, still there. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. I've translated this for you from a Greek article.